I'm gonna be bringing this terrarium back to life, so stay tuned to the end to see the final results. So I got this terrarium a few months ago. Haven't really thought of what to do with it yet, but I have one of my salamanders that will be needing an upgrade, because right now she's been just sitting in kind of like little plastic Tupperware, some sphagnum moss, but now I think she deserves a full new upgrade. This it's kind of dirty, so first thing we're gonna do is clean it. And just like that, it is all clean and ready to go. Start putting some stuff in it. First thing that you need to make the best soil for any kind of amphibian is some cocoa fiber. Then it's very important that you make sure that it's all moist and wet for them. So I'm gonna be adding a bunch of water. All right, and now once you got it all mixed up into where it's like at a nice texture, it's not wet, but it's definitely damp and not dry. This is about what you want for texture. Then you're good to move on to the next step, and that's to add sphagnum moss. Now that I got all the sphagnum moss in here, I'm gonna be mixing it up in the soil, making sure that there's no clumps like this, and make sure that it's all just like stirred up in there. Once you got this sphagnum moss all mixed up in there, you're gonna wanna add sand. Make sure that your sand's all rinsed out and it's not all dirty. And just mix this all in. Same thing with the sphagnum moss, just mix it all up together. Now when you're making your soil for your amphibians, it is very important to make sure that you get like this matted texture, like how it's all like rooted and just this texture. It's hard to explain. It's nice and moist, but it's nice and rooted. The next thing that I always add is some dirt from like what's it called, from like some night crawlers that you can normally get from like the pet stores. They have them, or you can get them from bait shops. But like this soil, I just like to throw it in with this, and make sure you add some water because it normally tends to dry out. Now I got all the soil, sand, cocoa fiber, and sphagnum moss all mixed up in here. Something I forgot to clarify: the reason why you want it so rooted like this is not like all like grainy and like it does fall apart, but it doesn't fall apart as easily. And that's very important for especially salamanders, because they like to burrow, and when they make their burrows, this like clingy rooted stuff tends to stick better together rather than just straight cocoa fiber, and that can be good for them. So I skipped the part that it's kind of obvious, a no-brainer. You're gonna have to actually put the soil that you just made into your substrate. I have a little carpet thing on the bottom that pretty much collects all the extra water. Ideally, you want to put some rocks underneath this carpet bedding, but I did not, because it's not really necessary. It just means that you got to change out your soil faster. But I'm probably gonna turn this terrarium into a bioactive setup. If you guys want to see that, please leave a thumbs up, and you might see it in the next video. Now it is very important that you have some foliage in there so that your salamander isn't afraid or feels vulnerable. This also tends to prevent them from burrowing as often, because they simply don't need to. So it allows us as the keepers to be able to view our animals more often, makes it more fun to keep. So I'm just gonna put these in here and I'll show you guys the final product. Now this is the final product. Got some nice color right there with some foliage. It's obviously fake. Ideally you'd want it to be real. Got this weird rock structure in there, like little holes through it. And a smaller cage right there, and a water bowl right there. I have the soil about that much full. It's what you're gonna want, because they love to dig. Just gave the tank a good spray down, and filled her little water dish up with water. So I'm gonna be adding her into the tank. As you can see, she's already starting to dig, and this is just such an amazing creature. So some basic information on tiger salamander is that these guys are actually very closely related to the common pet, the axolotl. They are in the same genus, Ambystoma, which is the mole salamanders. These guys are also never afraid of the water. Actually, some individuals are NGA, which is a gene where it can allow them to live fully aquatic just like a larval salamander, and they do not need land. They can be very energetic, as you can see here. She had a little spook, but she eventually finds her way into this hiding spot. They love dark, moist areas. These guys are also voracious eaters, eating a wide ranges of foods. Some of my favorite meals that I like to feed them are crickets, worms, and dubia roaches. Every now and then I'll give them pinky mice too. This one actually ate a pinky mouse earlier today, and as you can see, she is always ready for some more food. And they can be pretty feisty.